What if I told you that the person sitting across from you at Sunday dinner, smiling sweetly as they serve your meal, was actually trying to kill you? Today, I'm sharing Lauren's harrowing story, a tale that reads like fiction but is all too real. This is the story of how a mother-in-law's hatred turned deadly, and how one woman's quick thinking saved her life. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. You won't want to miss any of our true crime content. Picture this: Richmond, Virginia, a seemingly normal family dinner. Lauren McCauley, a 39-year-old elementary school teacher, sits down to what she thinks is a regular meal with her husband Eric and his mother, Dolores Harrison. But something's different about tonight's dinner, and it might just save Lauren's life. For 6 long years, Lauren had endured subtle hostility from her mother-in-law. Dolores made it clear from day one that Lauren, a small-town teacher from North Carolina, wasn't good enough for her precious son. But what started as typical in-law drama was about to escalate into something unthinkable. Here's where our story takes a dark turn. As Dolores places dinner on the table, Lauren immediately notices something's wrong. While Eric enjoys a normal-looking plate of baked ziti, Lauren's serving has an odd grayish tint and a metallic smell that makes her stomach turn. "I made this special recipe just for you, dear," Dolores says, with what Lauren describes as a saccharine smile. Those words, special recipe, would soon take on a sinister meaning. The green specks scattered throughout Lauren's pasta don't look like any herb she's ever seen. They're almost crystalline, artificial-looking. When she asks about the ingredients, Dolores's response sends chills down her spine. "Oh, just old family secrets. I thought you might appreciate something unique." This is where Lauren's survival instincts kick in. And honestly, her quick thinking probably saved her life. She discreetly starts recording on her phone, positioning it to catch their conversation. When she presses Dolores for more details about the special ingredients, the older woman's mask begins to slip. "Let's just say they'll give you an experience you'll never forget," Dolores says, her eyes gleaming with what Lauren can only describe as malice. Think about that for a moment. An experience you'll never forget. In the context of suspicious food, those words take on a truly chilling meaning. What happens next is absolutely bone-chilling. When Lauren asks about the green specks in her food, Dolores reveals they're special herbs she found in the woods behind her house. But it gets worse, much worse. Dolores casually mentions that she's been researching these herbs for weeks, and even tested them on stray cats that come around the yard. When Lauren asks what happened to the cats, Dolores dismissively says they wandered off afterward, probably to sleep it off somewhere quiet. Let that sink in. She tested potentially lethal substances on innocent animals before serving them to her daughter-in-law. Lauren excuses herself to the bathroom and immediately calls 911. She also texts a friend who works for the Richmond Police Department. When officers arrive at the door, Dolores goes white. She realizes she's been caught. The evidence is overwhelming. 2 completely different meals, a recording of Dolores's confession, and what would soon be discovered as detailed documentation of her poisoning attempts. Here's where this story gets even more disturbing. When hazmat teams and specialists examine the contaminated food, they find multiple deadly substances: pokeweed berries, foxglove, and destroying angel mushrooms, each capable of causing severe illness or death. But the most damning evidence comes from Dolores's own pantry, a composition notebook filled with 18 months of detailed research, page after page, documenting dosages, effects, and timing. Specific notes about Lauren's reactions to previous accidents. One entry reads, "Lauren ate approximately 1/3 of the cookies before stopping. Next time use less foxglove and more pokeweed. The bitter taste is making her suspicious." As investigators dig deeper, a horrifying pattern emerges. For nearly 2 years, Dolores had been systematically trying to poison Lauren, making it look like accidents or natural illness. The accidental spoiled milk, the cookies that tasted like soap, The mysterious stomach bugs that only affected Lauren. It was all deliberate. 3 deceased cats, found buried in Dolores's backyard, confirmed she had been perfecting her poison recipe on innocent animals before using it on Lauren. The trial was swift and decisive, with overwhelming evidence, including the contaminated food, the research notebook, the deceased cats, and Lauren's recording. Dolores was convicted of attempted first-degree murder and animal cruelty. At 68 years old, her 25-year sentence was effectively a life sentence. Even as she was led away, Dolores showed no remorse, telling Lauren, "You destroyed my family." Lauren's response was perfect. "No, you destroyed it yourself the moment you decided I deserved to die for marrying your son." While justice was served, the damage to Lauren's marriage was irreparable. Despite Eric's horror and remorse at his mother's actions, Lauren couldn't forgive 6 years of having her concerns dismissed as paranoia. They divorced 6 months after the trial. Lauren's story teaches us several crucial lessons. Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, investigate. Don't let others convince you that you're being paranoid when your gut is telling you otherwise. Document everything. Lauren's decision to record that conversation was the key to bringing Dolores to justice. Take threats seriously. What might seem like petty family drama can sometimes mask something much more dangerous. Lauren's story is a stark reminder that evil can hide behind the most ordinary facades. A grandmother who bakes birthday cakes and volunteers at charity drives was capable of methodically planning murder. Today, Lauren has rebuilt her life. She's learned to trust her instincts again, volunteers at an animal shelter, and most importantly, never lets anyone convince her that her life isn't worth fighting for. What do you think about Lauren's story? Have you ever had to trust your instincts in a dangerous situation? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more true crime content. Stay safe out there, everyone. Sometimes the biggest threats come from the people closest to us.